Hi. Why do some souls come to Earth for just a very short time? Well, joining me today on Spiritual Invitation is Chrystyne McGrath. Now, Chrystyne was on episodes 70 and 71, where we discussed the paranormal and mediumship. Chrystyne offers many services. She has an immense and impressive resume and is well known for the ghost tours that she gives. Now, you can get a current schedule and learn about all her services by going on her website at ChrystyneMcGrath.com. Chrystyne, hi.
So good to see you.
I know, so good to see you. And we would love to be sitting closer, but we're just post-COVID and we're still trying to social distance, right? So that's why I want people to understand that. Now, I'd like to share with the viewers that the last time you were on, once the cameras stopped, you and I sat here and we continued to talk. And you shared with me how you lost a son. Mm-hmm. And I shared with you how I had a miscarriage. And we just started talking about it in a spiritual way. And we both came to the conclusion it would be nice if you came back on because it perhaps could be very helpful to some people out there. So thank you for doing that, for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Now, let's just dig right in, all right? Mm-hmm. Do we pick our parents and why?
We absolutely do. They're karmic contracts. And we definitely pick our lessons. It's on your blueprint before you come here.
Okay.
And sometimes it's not good. Sometimes you pick unloving parents for a reason. Mm-hmm. Whether you're closing a karmic contract or starting a new one. So it's not always pleasant.
Okay. All right. And so I think that's a good thing to get into because this can make people very uncomfortable thinking, you know, I had a less than charmed childhood. Why would I have ever picked a situation like that? Or, you know, from my parents were just not that great to my parents were horrific, right? Some people have terrible, terrible childhoods. So what do you say to people, you know, in terms of when they have the reaction, why would I ever pick these parents?
Well, these are souls you already know. Mm-hmm. So you're not meeting them for the first time. You might have had a past lifetime with them. Mm-hmm. You might have had an agreement on the other side. You're going to teach each other lessons on abandonment. Whether it's physical abuse, mental abuse, this is all done on the other side.
All right, so you're saying on the other side, that's when we come in with a mission, basically, yes. You're saying, right? And we come in for a purpose. It's not random who's born and when they're born and why they're born. It's never random. So we come in with an actual purpose.
Absolutely.
And so some people, you know, I guess get into the blueprints and the karmic because some people we come in to work things out. Is that what you're saying? And if we choose these particular parents, it's to really work things out with them? Mm-hmm.
Think of it as lessons. So you're planning out your blueprint, and what are you going to learn out of this lifetime? Maybe you were an abuser in your past lifetime. You're going to have to come back as someone who is abused.
All right.
Because otherwise you'd never learn that lesson.
You wouldn't understand.
You'd never. So, you know, very few of us come and have these easy lifetimes, and everyone questions why.
All right. Okay. So but why is this happening to me? Right?
Yes. And there's a reason for it.
And there's always a reason for it.
Always.
All right. So a blueprint is your actual plan before you come?
Yes.
That's a new term for me.
It's all charted out from birth to when you die. You chose your blueprint.
All right.
At every age, and you have 7. We call them jump zones, where you can leave if you want.
You can go.
You have 7.
Yes. You have different
distinct points.
Right, that you can. So it's not like every moment is planned out. We have free will.
That's exactly right.
So it's hoped that we work.
That's
We're coming back to learn what it feels like to be abused or to feel. But it doesn't mean we stay in an abusive relationship. Right. We're supposed to work through it. How does that work?
How you overcome it and what you do with it.
All right. Okay. How you approach
it. And if you forgive that person, everything is forgiveness.
Oh, wow.
So forgiving and letting them go.
Okay.
With love and forgiveness.
All right. So if you've had a less than desirable childhood. It's a matter of you forgiving
them
and being able to just move on with your life.
Yes, tapping into your higher self and overcoming it.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very difficult, huh?
Absolutely.
Not easy.
Well, on the other side, we're just spirits, and we feel good. We're not in a human body. We're out of our human brain, so everything seems easy. You say, "Oh, I can handle coming into. I can absolutely handle that." And then we get here, and now we're in a human body, in our mind, going, "What did I sign up for?
Right.
This is too much."
And we've forgotten that we signed up for it.
Absolutely. And our guides are with us, warning us.
Right.
Our spirit guides are there at the table going, "Are you sure you want to do that?"
Yeah,
I'm, "Oh, sure, I feel great. Absolutely."
Throw it on. Yeah, throw it at me.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about children. What happens when a child dies?
Yes, so there's so many different circumstances, whether it's a miscarriage, a stillborn, a child under 10, a child under the age of 20. No matter what age they are, it hurts as the mother.
Of course.
Any age, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But it's definitely contracted, and things happen by accident. But just know that they're loved. They're loved on the other side. The angels come to get them, and they're on the other side, and we have to celebrate them. We're here on earth to celebrate that soul in that life, as short as it was.
As short as it was.
Yes.
Yeah. And, we were talking a little bit about before the show, and you were saying how long ago people didn't talk about it.
Right.
If somebody had, I know my mother had a stillborn, and, it was just, he was baptized, and that was it. Like, you just didn't mention it. You didn't talk about it. You didn't mention it, and and I was just very sensitive to it. I never forgot him. He would have been the youngest in the family.
And that's what they want us to do. They want us to bring them up. They want us to talk about them, honor them. Absolutely. Yes.
And now, do they age in spirit?
Yes.
Now, talk to us about that. So once they pass on.
Yes. I'll give you an example. My son, Sean, died in 2007.
All right.
He died as a baby at Yale Hospital, and he crossed over. Now, I'm a medium. I see him. He ages every year.
He does.
He does for me. He ages. He's in my house. I see him. He looks like a 13-year-old boy right now.
And that's what he is, right?
He would have been 13.
So he passed in 2007.
Yes.
And he was how old when he passed?
He was a newborn baby.
He was a newborn baby.
Yes, I delivered him, and he died.
Oh.
But it's important to talk about him and remember him.
You want to.
Yeah, it's in the old days you kept it quiet, and it was a dirty hidden secret.
Oh, right. You were not supposed to talk about it.
No one talked about it. You said, just forget, change the subject. But we do need to talk about it. And my older son, Matt, was 7 at the time.
All right.
And he said, "Don't worry, he's coming back. Don't worry, I know he's coming back." And a year and a half later, I had my third son, Patrick.
Oh.
And it was very soon, right after. And my older son knew it. He said, "I know you're going to have another son."
Oh, I didn't know. It's incredible what children know.
He's so tapped in.
Yeah.
Children are so tuned in.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And we have amazing experiences with him aging. The setup of my house is all open with a balcony, and I'll see him, Sean will play jokes on my 2 that are downstairs. Yeah, he'll pretend he's spitting down at them, and it's funny. And it's nothing scary. We're not being haunted. It's just very playful and loving.
Right.
It's not scary.
Right. Right. Why do people die young? I mean, we really do want everybody to live to 100, don't we?
Absolutely.
So if people die at any decade, it just doesn't feel right to us as human beings. So why talk a little bit more about that?
It doesn't mentally make sense for a 7-year-old to die.
Why
would that happen?
No,
well, my son came here, and it was enough for him just to bond with my pregnancy. We bonded, and that was enough
For him
for
to
him.
be
That was enough. We
yours.
had a huge bond,
Right.
a huge connection. Sometimes people are closing out contracts from their previous life. If you were supposed to live to 80 and you went outside right now and a car hit you and you died at the age of 70, you have 10 more years in your blueprint. So you're going to come back in the next life for 10 years.
Really?
Yes.
I
You're
didn't
closing
realize
out
that.
a past contract.
Okay.
Or some souls has come to make a difference, whether it's to help other people, whether it's a disease, it's something going on in the world. They come back knowing that's their mission.
That is what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
Do you think about, or has he told you, Sean, what his purpose to
Yes.
to bond with you? What was his purpose?
Absolutely. He says that was just good enough. He said the time we had together was good enough, and I know you're going to help women that lost children because I'm a medium. And he said, and this is why, because I had to feel the angst, I had to feel the sadness. You know, to help someone who lost a child, you have to walk through it.
Yes.
And I remember in my past lifetimes, I've always had 3 boys and one of them dies. I remember that very
Chrystyne?
clearly.
Wow.
Yeah, and in my past life, my oldest son, Matt, died. And I remember it. And in this lifetime, I'm always too much with him. He's 20 and I'm too much. But it's just because I remember him dying and he wandered off and I never saw him again.
Right.
But that's what my Sean told me.
Okay.
He said, you know, you always come back and you feel the devastation of that loss, and because I help people with it.
All right.
And you have to walk the walk to talk the talk.
You definitely do.
And I know exactly what it feels like. I remember being at Yale screaming in this room. And there were so many angels. Angels are huge. They wouldn't even fit in a room. And there was over 50 angels in that room. And it was so soft, that energy. I'll never forget that feeling.
To take care of you when it happened.
They just took over all of my emotions to calm me down. I could see them. The nurses outside the door thought I was crazy. Because I'm screaming at them, why you? I can see you. I'm one of you. Why are you doing this to me?
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, but when you see the lesson of it, you have to step outside of that and realize it's a contract.
Right. And you said something before, you still have the bond.
Yes.
You had 9 months together that you were
Exactly.
bonding, and so no one can take that away. No.
And he always says, that's good enough. That was good enough for me.
Wow.
That was
Does
fine.
that make it easier for you
Absolutely.
to accept it? It
Absolutely. And women ask me all the time, I had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. It's too painful.
Yes.
But enjoy, there's a reason for it.
There is a reason.
Sometimes if they were born, they would have had a disability. They would have died young. The mother couldn't have handled it. So, God gave them the option. Do you want to leave now, or if you stay here, you're going to be in pain. You're going to cause your family pain, and so that soul has the option. They choose.
They make the decision.
It's up to them. They make the decision.
Yeah.
Yes. And they do it because they love you, and they say it would be too hard for me to be born.
It's too hard for her.
And I see what your outcome would be.
Right.
So we have to honor that.
It's so true. I mean, we it's so much deeper than we realize, isn't it? It's so much more complex.
It's very complex.
Whole system of being birth and death and everything in between. And I think about that because I had shared with you I miscarried. I was like 4 months along, and I always had a sense that it was a boy, and I understand that it just wasn't his time, and I think. I may not have had my daughter either. I think it was like my daughter was meant to come in, and so I understand that, but I still think about him. He's still, he was my middle child. I mean, so I still do think about him and feel like he's still with me.
Well, he is. I see him. He's over you.
You can see him.
I can see him. He's very present over you.
Okay.
When I look at you, I see him over you.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
And so he's more like your spirit guide right now.
Okay, so
where he's over you and he loves you, and he was a part of your life, as short as that was.
As short as it was.
You brought him into your life that way.
Right. And as a mother, you love them, right?
Oh, unconditionally.
Right away, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like immediate. I don't know if it's the full truth, but I always remember the doctor saying to me when I miscarried, I just want to tell you that men love their children when they're born, but mothers love their children as soon as they hear that they're
absolutely.
pregnant. You know, and
it's such a strong bond.
it's like so immediate, right?
Oh.
Now, how else? What are the other signs that people can know that their child that's passed is still with them?
So there's physical signs, there's psychic signs, there's psychic smells. The number one thing we usually get is a smell. Is I can smell, something very distinctive in the air.
Okay.
And there's nothing there.
And there's nothing there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your senses. I sense it's very cold. I sense there's this being in front of me, this energy. And then there's the movement. Things will move.
Okay.
Things you'll see tangible things move, or you'll see them through other people, and it's usually for 5 seconds. They can take the form of another person. It's usually 5 seconds, and you do it. That's when you do a double take, and you go, "That's weird." I glanced at that person's face, and I thought I saw them, and you did. And they can hold it for about 5 seconds.
And even a child that is died a few days old, a few minutes old, a few years old. You'll still, all those same things, you can still see them in somebody else, or you can...
Absolutely.
You can, all right.
And it's using your senses.
Okay.
And some people are shut off to that. Some people aren't open to receiving those clear messages, so they'll tap into your electronics. Because now they need to get in your face.
Yeah. So they'll
you're not paying attention about feathers and butterflies.
And all those type of representative
and coins.
signs.
So they'll say, well, I'm just going to turn your lights off, or I'm going to put a ringing in your ear.
So that you know it's me.
I'm going to send you a text and there's no one there. They can do that.
Right, right.
And that's when they're just going, I love you. It's not to scare you or haunt you.
No.
It's just, I love you so much. Here I am. And we call them God winks.
I love that. Yeah.
They're little God winks.
Little God winks.
They're beautiful.
Yes. And I had heard someplace too, even if you just have the memory of them, that's them connecting with you.
Because energy.
I don't know if it's because you're having the memory and you bring them to you, or they come to you and you have the memory.
When spirit is around you, they're in your head. So you think it's just you. You think in your human mind, you think, oh, I don't know why I'm thinking of them. You're thinking of them because they're around you.
Yeah.
That's why they're popping in, into your brain at that, because they're doing, here I am. They're able to do that.
Right.
Yes, very, very strong.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Very, very, this is wonderful. Do they know when they're coming, do they know when they're coming in that they're not going to make it?
Absolutely.
They know what age.
Absolutely.
They know what it's going to be.
They do.
They're a part. That's so hard for us to understand, isn't it? That they're really a part of the decision making.
Yes.
But we have to understand they're a full soul.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Souls know exactly what contracts or blueprints they're getting into. As humans, we're in our brain, our ego, and we can't even comprehend that. But they know if they're going to make it. If some souls are aborted, but they know that. They know, don't jump in, that's going to be aborted, that pregnancy. They know that.
They know that it's going to happen. Yeah.
They can see it.
They can see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, and they would choose, say, a mission like that, knowing that they were going to be aborted, just to be a part of that person's life.
It's a lesson for that person.
It's a lesson for that person, right? Okay, okay.
And again, in the human brain, this is really hard to comprehend.
Sure.
But it's very complex on the other side.
It is,
It's very cut and dry.
Yeah.
Things are a lot grander than we can even imagine, because we're so limited in our brains.
Right. Yeah, we are so limited.
We're so limited in our thinking.
And I think it helps, if we look at the world, in this way a little bit, that it's so much more than us, then we'd understand it's not our fault if we miscarry.
Absolutely.
It's not our fault if we can't get pregnant, right? It's not...
Especially
There's
women.
No to work. Yes.
Women want to be guilty for everything. Anything and everything. It was my fault. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And it was nothing they did.
And it's nothing they did.
Nothing.
No. It's just this was not not meant to be,
No.
or it's just
There's a
something,
reason for
there's
it.
a reason. There's a reason why.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's also contracts where the child comes in and the mother can't carry. So there's no coincidence with adoptions. Adoptions are all pre-planned on the other side.
All right.
They're just using another vessel to get to you too. So, if you can't have a child, you're supposed to adopt someone because that's how they're coming through.
And that's how they're going to be coming through.
Yeah, and there's nothing coincidental.
There's nothing coincidental.
Absolutely
who you
not.
Get. No,
No.
or who you get or where, or when you're waiting for an adoption.
It's all divine.
It's they know they're picking you out, aren't they?
Of course.
Yeah, they're picking you out. Even the child that's going to be adopted
They
knows. When they come in, even if they go into this birth mother, they know
She's
that
just the vehicle
that
to get them where they need to go.
And that's something, right? It's a beautiful
they
thought.
know.
Yeah, it's
They
a beautiful thought that they know that.
They absolutely do.
Yeah. So people that are having difficulty getting pregnant, what would you say to them?
Release the energy, and especially
Okay.
females instantly clam up and they start blaming themselves and they shift their energy to what's not good.
Okay. So
Because they're holding all the negatives come in. When you can't get pregnant, the worry is negative. The blaming is negative. Berating yourself is negative. So you're hurting yourself within that process.
right.
So you need to just let it go and say, I know this is divine. If I can't have a child, I'll look into adoption.
Right. Right.
But you need to let go of it. You need to let go.
Let go of the energy. Just
Yes.
relax. Trust
Relax
the
into
system.
it. Talk to God.
Talk to God. Right.
That's all you can do is talk to God.
Talk to God and ask for what we want. Right.
Absolutely.
Ask for what we want, and then trust in the divine timing
That's right.
of it all.
And as humans, we're very impatient. We want a child when we want a child.
Yes, we
And,
are.
Yeah, we want to control it all, and we can't.
Instant. Yeah, we want
We
everything.
can't.
No.
No.
And I look at the world differently now. So I find it funny, or just in an amusing way, when people are like, oh boy, they got pregnant first time. And it's like, well, that baby must have been waiting, right, for that second, right? Or,
Yes.
and then when people,
Yes.
but then people that are like, we've tried for years, and it's like, but your baby's not ready yet.
It's not ready.
The timing isn't there. No.
No.
Yeah.
And you have to accept it all.
You just have to accept it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So, children that pass on, do they reincarnate?
Yes.
And into the same family?
Usually into the same family,
Usually into
or
the
someone
same
close. Absolutely.
All right.
So it could be your grandmother that your granddaughter is pregnant with. They always come back in
Okay.
the same bloodline.
Okay, they do.
Yes.
All
Think of
right.
a pot of 33 souls,
Okay.
and they recycle, but you're never the same title. So
All right.
you're never the mother in the next lifetime, usually, if you have to learn
all right.
that.
Okay.
Usually, it depends, or maybe you need to lose a different child, or everything's different. It depends what you did in this life,
All right.
how you handled it,
How you
what you
handled
can
it.
handle, what you need to learn. It's always
Right.
different. We don't know.
It's just different.
Sometimes
All
we have children and they're such strong energies, it's hard to parent them. Well, they were your parent in a past life, and they're not defying you. They just have a tough time with the role. Yeah, of you being the parent.
And this is all coming through, because this is all really not on a conscious level.
No,
Nobody's
no.
thinking this. So is this coming through on a cellular level? Is
Yes.
that it? Okay,
On the
so
soul
it's just
level.
the
It's the soul.
soul level
The soul.
that it's coming through.
It's the soul.
Okay. And even
Yeah.
then, it's meant to be
Absolutely.
in terms of, what
100%.
what we're supposed to go through. Yeah.
And dogs reincarnate as well.
Really?
I just want to bring up the animal
Yeah.
kingdom. I love the animal
Yeah,
kingdom.
let's
And their
do it.
beautiful fur babies always come back.
Yeah. In the same
They
families?
do. Usually, and they look different though.
Okay, so
They
completely
never look
different.
the same. It's never, they never look
All
the
right.
same, but the soul is the same. And you recognize their energy, just like a child, a soul. You recognize them because we all have a different vibration and different energy to our souls. So we can tell who's who.
Yeah, and likewise the other way, when a pet passes on, they're waiting for you
Absolutely.
on the other side, right?
Always. If they don't come back, they're waiting for you. Every time I do a reading, I see someone on the other side with their pets. Always. Yeah, it's very common. And it could be a childhood pet.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people go, oh, my father never had a dog. Well, he did when he was a child.
Yeah.
And this is what the dog, and they go, oh, that's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. All right, and then so tell us we're just about at the end, but just tell us a little bit more about when a child dies, who are they with? Are they definitely with a grandparent or
absolutely.
I mean, they're not alone,
Never.
right?
Never. You never have to worry.
You don't have to worry about that.
No, never.
They're with love.
They're always on the other side is so beautiful and loving. And if a relative, an ancestor doesn't come and get you, it's always an angel. Your guides. There's a posse.
Right,
that brings you over. There's the rare time someone wouldn't is when the parent is holding them here. And I would say out of all of the ones I've experienced, usually about 15%, sometimes they can't let their child go. So they hold them here earthly, and they're earthbound. Because they're being held here energetically by one of the parents.
And you help them
absolutely, because they won't let them go.
Yeah,
they're holding them and holding them. But that's a low number. Usually,
right?
It
usually doesn't, right? And
but
they need to understand.
Happen.
I imagine you help them understand.
And they say, "No, I'm not
doing.
ready to let my child go yet.
Wow.
I'm not ready. I can't comprehend it. I'm not letting go."
Right, right. So it's helping them to understand.
The more we talk about it, the more they understand.
This is the more loving thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always want a loved one to cross over, always, and then they can come visit us in spirit.
Yeah, and that's what they'll do.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Chrystyne, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for talking about this. Thank you for sharing about Sean. So I saw his birthday's August 7th.
Coming up, yes.
August 7th,
yes.
right?
Yep.
All right, and
Coming
he's going, and he'll be 13.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. All right, well, we're going to have all of Chrystyne's contact information up on the screen in just a moment. We hope you watch this show again. Just check your local listing. You can also go on my channel on YouTube, type my name into the search, Carla Augustine, and all the episodes will come up. You can also go on my website and get a hold of me at carlaaugustine.com. I want to thank you so much for watching. This has been Spiritual Invitation. I'm your host, Carla Augustine, inviting you to explore spirituality. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Good.
Yay.
That was so good.
So wonderful.
It just went,
it goes by fast.
Yeah, it just went and it just flowed, I think.
Always.
Yeah, it flowed really nice.
We talked about what we needed to.
It kept it light, though,
light.
which I love.
Very light.
It's keeping it light.
Yes.